LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
Hello, welcome back to the StarSeries I-League Season 4. We're going into our second map of what is, well, playoffs best of 3. Either Heroic or Astralis are going straight through to the playoffs. Well, at least now. They could both realistically go through. But as we've already said, there's a lot of sort of deadly teams waiting down in that 2-2 situation. You could end up with, well, either SK or Na'Vi, depending who wins that series. You've also got Cloud9 down there, Mouse Sports. Like, you don't want to face any of those teams. You want to get it done now. So
yeah, Renegades are there.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
And other deadly teams.
There is, well, Tommy, you didn't mention them, and it triggered me.
I know, because you're now some sort of fanboy, we know, as of yesterday.
I'm just saying. Here we go. About to get into map number 2, Tom. It is the Danish derby, wherever you're from, whatever you call it, the Danish domestic. We are about to head into this one. Map 2. Map 1 obviously went the way of Astralis. It was a dominating first... it was a dominating second half that carried them across the line. The first half looked like Heroic were in good spirits. They've just, however, had their morale, dreams, and everything crushed in Map 1. Can they rekindle the flame in Map 2?
Yes.
Their map pick, it's Nuke. Heroic, they're over on the... doesn't matter, they haven't done the knife round yet.
They're over on the CT side, but that may not matter in about 30 seconds time.
And of course, this is one of the maps where the knife round, I think, is actually incredibly important because you want to be getting off to a good start, ideally, especially if you're Heroic right now.
Tell that to Virtus Pro.
Well, there are some teams that like to... that will happily mix things up or start on maybe the worst side in the knowledge they can come back.
I don't think they'll do that on Nuke.
No, yeah. But what I was
surprised.
What I was going to say is right now it's important for them to keep that morale high and get off to a good start in the hope of slowing the momentum from Astralis. You don't want to let them keep that going. So this is one of the knife rounds that actually bears quite a bit of significance. That's probably why we can see Zipex taking Heroic on a bit of a jog. It's a Danish conga line.
They've been trapped in.
A Swede had snuck into the mix. I've heard that he's just been stabbed to death, which is good. But now...
You condone stabbing Swedes to death, is what I just heard.
I mean, yeah, in the server, by all means. Do whatever you got to do, Tom.
Slightly scared of you. Either way. It is going to be... Was it Heroic who won that knife round in the end? I think it was. Yeah.
So you were too busy trying to make things awkward for me and not paying any attention, Tom. This is why throwing people under buses, I don't condone that one.
I do. Just
Here we go. Going to be getting into this, a little bit of a team talk coming in for the Astralis guys. Some motivational speech from Glaive. Tom, you can read lips well, and you also speak Danish. What's he saying?
He said, come on, guys, let's win. So it's just a bit longer in Danish, that's all.
That is, well, that's probably true. I don't know.
Is it probably true? Me just making stuff up? Either way. Yeah,
I can't imagine going into it saying, let's just lose this one, get to a third map.
I just feel like he might be saying a little bit more. It seems like Heroic are in high spirits. To be fair, I think this is one of their strongest maps. Recent form, Astralis haven't been the best at it. I do think the addition of Magisk will actually help out their nuke quite a bit, but it's just how much time they've actually had to sort of get this ready. It's a sort of very difficult map to sort of play. Not many teams play it for that very reason. It's very CT-sided, and if you do get off to a slow start, building back into the game can be very, very difficult. Of course, we have already seen it once in this tournament, although both teams have been eliminated. So it's sort of one of those things where you're like, I don't really want to base too much off of that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing not only Heroic play this map, but also see whether or not Yugi can sort of step up with that AWP. We saw it in the series versus Tyloo, where he just came alive, and it is one of the integral parts of this team. Again, Nico's another one where him just holding down the site can be so important. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and whether or not sort of Dupree can keep continuing to get all those entry frags, because on the CT side, it's not the most integral thing in the world, but on this map, on the T side, finding openings is so important because it's so difficult to actually just break down these sites to actually find ways of getting into things. Either way, we have Astralis now getting into their chairs. They've had their little team huddle. Obviously, they've said, come on, guys, let's win. They've sat down. That's all they really needed, of course. And yeah, where do you see this going? Map 2.
Well, I'm hoping that Heroic take.
No, I don't care who you hope. Who do you think is going to win?
That's what I was going to say, Tom. I think they have the talent. I think they have the skill, and this is a very good map for them. And they looked good in map 1 on one side of the map. So there you go. That's all you need here in Nuke is you need to be good at one side. That's the CT side. Or maybe actually more crucially the T side. It's quite easy to get these CT side rounds stacked up. And often it's teams that we see, you kind of get... It's really gone back to the old standard, hasn't it? It's like, oh, they got 5 rounds T sides. They're probably going to win.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen like 2 top or decent Nuke teams actually face off against each other as of yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like, obviously how much this has gone back. We are, of course, into our pistol round. We do have Magisk actually buying up the CZ. It's a fast push in there already. Snappy will take down the first. Magisk runs out of bullets and will be dancing to try and stay alive. A quick couple of trades have come back, however, but it doesn't last very long. Snappy with 2, Yugi with 2, and that will be the lead in the way of Heroic. An important pistol round to get themselves started, but of course, there's a force buy coming.
Yes, there is, and to counteract it, going to be 3 rifles brought up for Heroic, 2 UMPs, a boatload of utility. Astralis, as you correctly said, Tom, no bomb plant, no anything, means that they have money to invest into this round. Scout going to be brought up for Device. He was fairly quiet over on Overpass. Can he have a good impact early on here with the Scout? It can be.
It's been given to him as well, so
they put a lot of faith in Device.
And now that he's even going to let him stand on his head too. Clave just full-on support for Device here, and he's going to hit the tag, already lowering the HP of Yugi, who will fall, and that's an M4 down outside. Not in an easy position to retrieve. A nice shot from Glaive as they now look to push back in onto the site. Clearly having no armor is no detriment to this man. Obviously no window to sneak out of anymore. Does make that A site a little bit easier to defend. Glaive's actually managed to retrieve the FAMAS as well, and Device now has an M4. Both rifles actually sit on the T side, and this force buy, well, unless Nico can pull off the impossible, should be working out for them. Not a single player dropped, barely any damage done. And who was it who had the buy?
Well, Tom, if I tell you it was Heroic, you could be confused. Because with how Astralis just picked them limb from limb, it's not looking good, at least right now. The force buy going to be coming back in for Heroic, as they look to try and steal one back. They won't have a scout. That was a bit of a one of the keys to success outside initially, and also the frag coming in. Can't actually remember who got the initial one. I think it was the CZ out from Magisk, if I recall.
I would love to know the stat of how many second rounds in this tournament have been won by the team who didn't win the first. Because I think it's been an insane amount. Like, there's been so many second round forces that have just won. Maybe not in such a dominant fashion as we just saw from Astralis, but it has been absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, well, for Astralis, 3 players down here towards Secret. But they're not keeping this play outside of Secret any longer as they burst through the smokes, flashing on in. So it has been telegraphed as to exactly what's going on. There's no one here from Heroic to actually peek into it. So they don't have the information that there are players outside. Yugi's already rotated down to B. Nico's got aggressive. Rubino is about to discover the terrible truth. And that, as Astralis have invaded his personal space. They hear them up in heaven. And it's not as poetic as it sounds. They are just walking around up here. Going to be hopping down. Leaving Magisk and Glaive in the backline. Bomb plant goes in. It's 5-on-5. How has no one seen each other? This is Nuke. And I don't know what's going on, Tom. How do I commentate on this?
I guess they just got to save. Like, there's no way they get back into this. This is a really peculiar scenario. Xyp9x still managed to get rid of Snappy. Yeah, it's very unusual to not see anyone on Nuke, because it's sort of, there's only really 2 places to push towards. So yeah, the fact that the CT side and T side have just managed to completely avoid each other by sort of almost rotating around the map at the same time is quite peculiar. It means that the CT side at least will be able to keep their pistols into the next round and give it another go. But at the same time, it means Astralis now get a completely flawless round where they just make up a hell of a lot of money, already making some cash just because they saved a couple of rifles and kept everybody alive in their 4-spy round. So they're looking pretty around that sort of 4,000 plus marker for most players, and now have another chance to just fight back versus pistols again. That's a great scenario.
Well, another chance for Astralis to make money. For Heroic, I've got a couple of flashes. They might try their hand at something aggressive with 3 players over here towards ramp. That looked like it might have been the case initially, but now they have just gone ahead and boosted up Modi into the corner. He will lie in wait. Astralis once again sneaking 3 players down here towards Secret, the Secret Squad, as they've come to be known by me.
And no one else.
The iconic 3. Now, they've abandoned this once great position. Once again going to take control of outside early on.
So what are they called now? The Outsiders?
I'll take it. Thank you, Tom. But you know what they say? 3's a crowd. They've split up. They've gone separate ways. Rubino does lie in wait. Flash going to go in for Dupree. Rubino peeks with it. Dupree goes down. No one anywhere nearby to possibly trade that back. The only issue is I think he shot the FAMAS away. So he's going to go ahead and hop down.
I don't blame him.
Not a fan of the FAMAS. Xyp9x. Magic's down here at B. He's able to find Yugi. It's actually Device to pick that up. Now the push comes in. Modi goes down. The flank, the pincer. Magic does fall to Nico. There's only 15 seconds left. The bomb is currently down here alone, but the rest of the players now wrapping around the ramp angle. Bomb ticking down. Device and Glaive both hiding inside of the site. Rubino, he just waits in control. And it does look like they're just going to go ahead and save. Astralis going to be onto a 3rd round. They keep the AK out on Nico. Keep the armor up for Rubino as well. He might even go looking for that FAMAS that has gone missing. But it's going to be a 3rd round now for Astralis.
Yeah, and again, they keep multiple players alive. But the AK-47 pickup for Nico is definitely going to be a nice little boost to their economy as well. He can't drop an AWP, unfortunately, so it's not going to allow for Yugi to get any armor. But he does have the AWP in play. And now for Astralis, this is either the chance to go for a bit of a bonus, or actually just, yeah, no, they are. They're just going to go for a bit of a bonus. They could have forced up and bought an AWP or whatever they desired. They've got so much cash over on that T side at the moment, but because of that, they're going to try and do something a little bit abstract. Already with 3 rounds on this side, they're going to go running straight in towards the site, utilizing those SMGs. Through the Molotov they go, but Nico's already picked up 2, shutting down this initial push. There won't be anything more. Modi with a double, a triple even. And that is exactly how Heroic wanted to explode onto this map, slaughtering the bonus round. There will be no bonus to be had, except for on that CT side, have just made themselves a bit of cash, and it's like they're just going straight back into this round again. T's, well, you could say the same for them. They didn't really lose too much, but now they can buy straight in.
Yes, they can. And now we get to see that counter-AWP play between Yugi and Device. Yugi going to be taking that up into heaven. This time for Astralis. Oh, Rubino just offers himself up to the shots, and as a result, 12 HP left on him. That is not the start Heroic wanted. Modi going to get tagged up through the smoke as well, but he does manage to drop Magisk. Rubino finally going to be dealt with by Glaive. So that damage early on means that now we find ourselves in a 4-on-4. Glaive and Dupree are here outside. Yugi's going to peek into it. He's able to find the first. Dupree does not last long. Device is posted up and holds the angle. Does manage to get the trade onto Yugi. And now lots of breathing room for Astralis outside. 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Time is not something they're short of, but Zipek's going to go down. Device is able to pull it back once again.
It's almost like a somewhat elastic band where they take a peek, they get a kill, they peek back the other way, and they get killed by Device. He's just the return of Astralis every single time. Trading the frags, he's going to pick up an AK-47. They've got to go back and retrieve that bomb, and I think Glaive is a little bit worried that maybe someone has pushed aggressively. It is the case, not quite as far as they may have expected, and the worrying prospect for Modi is that Glaive is actually going to come rounding that corner. This should be just a freebie kill for him, leaving Snappy as the only man left alive. Coming back through Secret, only 20 seconds left. Bomb is going to be making its way down towards the B site, so he's on the completely wrong side of the map and going down those vents. Well, it's going to be expected. Molotov, well, even is there to block him off. Device goes pushing forward and finds the kill as well. A straight bounce back for Astralis. The silver lining for Heroic, though, is the fact that they did manage to save so much money based on winning that round flawlessly. So they are going to go for an investment here. There's still a chance that they could break back themselves. And this time Astralis don't have as much money as before to fall back on. So there will be a little bit more of a risky force buy. However, if they do win this round, then Astralis will be on 5 T rounds already. And the CT side will have nothing to play with in the next.
Once again, some aggression going to be coming in outside from Astralis. Nuke always features a fairly slow start. Astralis, they are playing up to that fact. Once again, focusing on taking outside control. This time, Yugi posted up to try and shut it down. Dupree's actually going to be playing up close to that smoke, and the flash comes in just a second too late. Yugi's able to find the first. So, right, they have taken this man advantage, and Yugi still waits. That time, the flash is perfect. An equalizer found. It's Device once again, who's been on a tear for Astralis. Nico's gone aggressive, and with that hut window being removed for some reason, he's allowed to get all this information for free. Magic is up in heaven, and they've been so strong at just pincering into this A-bomb site from this position. This time, looks like everyone has vacated it for Heroic. Nico's the only man who is nearby. Snappy in the vents. Going to be rotating up, but you're relying heavily on Nico to buy you some time. 20 seconds, now the push comes in. He's able to get the first. Magisk rains down death from above. Wants to get a little bit more, and he will. Rubino, somehow he's gotten up, but he will be shut down by Glaive. That's the 5th round going the way of Astralis. And Tom, you bought it up. Now the money gets dire, rather, for Heroic.
Yeah, a bit like a deer in headlights. They are about to get hit by the Astralis car. And, well, you know, sponsored by Audi, all that good stuff. Either way.
That's nice, positively.
Great. I'm not sponsored by Audi. I don't have to say nice stuff about them. I'm sure it's perfectly good at hitting deer if that's what you want it for. Either way. CT side have nothing. Nada. A P250. And, well, just hoping to try and steal a weapon away. Maybe do a little bit of damage. Can't really expect much in this round. And this is going to be a flying start for Astralis. They now have the chance to build up even more cash. A 6th round already on the T side, which, well, you would say is already pretty good. Anything more than that, and you do have to worry. Device, He gets a couple of kills, and Rubino will be able to pick up the AK-47. Tries to take the fight with the USP instead. I think someone may have just been like, hey, bud, you got an AK. It's probably going to help you just that little bit more. Saving it would be wonderful in this scenario, but Zipix doesn't let that dream last long. Rubino goes down. CT side, again, it will be somewhat a bare bones buy. A bit of utility, no incendiaries, and definitely no AWP, which, in terms of their outside control, has played a part. Like we saw Yugi looking like he was about to kick into gear. The problem is, Device has been countering him every step of the way.
Yeah, Device has been finding his form right now for Astralis in this map. Was quiet on Overpass, but he's been fairly key in a lot of these rounds. Looks to be more of the same from Astralis. And right now, Heroic, they're having a real hard time figuring out how to put a stop to this. It looks like they think the solution might be in moving up Rubino here to keep an eye on outside.
Yeah, just going to be a quite a common position, but considering how much Device has been allowed to take that portion, could work out. Aggression initially from Snappy will net them the initial kill. Molotov going into secret, but we've seen so many times them wrap around towards where Rubino is currently sitting in the garage. And well, the T's now a man down, looking to try and rectify things. Magisk is going to go pushing, looking to try and find Snappy, who did find that opener. Flashbangs thrown outside, actually going to catch the T's more so. Remember, Rubino is still out there. Peek back in, the timing works out for Snappy. Still trying to back around, and they've actually managed to get past the position of Rubino. Without him knowing, that could be a big, big problem for the CT side, as they are not going to expect Dupree to be this far forward. Nico, we can't possibly know. Glaive is looking to double back around. Now Rubino spots out the remaining players, and Dupree finds that kill onto the site. They're going to go running onto it himself, but he doesn't know that Snappy's still there. A third kill for him. Another player now coming in from heaven. Device trying to be isolated, and well, he's left all alone. Snappy does the work. Modi will close it. Another round on the board. AWP can be saved as well, which will be something to be handed over to Yugi in this. But again, that reset looms, and Heroic, they can't really afford to drop too many more rounds. I think an 8-7 is somewhat a minimum going on to their T side.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, you know, I was expecting to have a much more explosive start from Heroic. Keep wanting to call them the Danes, but that would get very confusing, especially seeing as out of the two teams, they're considerably less Danish. Having, you know, two of other nationalities. Damage done onto Snappy. He's already been tagged down to 20 HP. Glaive snuck by outside, and this time it looks like Heroic's solution is just to leave Yugi up in heaven to try and keep an eye on it. But the only issue with that is it's quite easy to nullify this heaven player. All the smoke's going to go down. Flash goes out to try and allow Glaive to cross. Meanwhile, the rest of Astralis head over toward ramp, where Modi, he's going to lie in wait. He does duck down, doesn't want to take the fight. Yugi's made his way in here with the AWP. He's able to go ahead and get one. Surely there's no more for him. Waits around in the molly. He's going to get chipped down by it. So Astralis, they've taken control of ramp room. But they're going to fall back. Looking like it's going to be an A hit. You still have Glaive waiting outside. Yugi's holding for the push. And actually, no, now he's finally going to start to go down. The bomb, once again, heads back to that ramp position. Getting a bit hesitant as to what it is they want to do. Glaive making noise. Modi hears this. Nico's rotated down. 23 seconds. It's going to be down to the wire once again. And Modi, he could make all the difference. Peeks on out. In with a second. No, he's going to actually fall at the hands of Magisk. 10 seconds left. The plant tries to get denied by Snappy, but he's going to go down in the fire. And now it is a 2-on-3. Bomb planted. Astralis are looking good. It all falls to Rubino and Yugi.
Yugi needs to find a fast opener here. Rubino already backed into the site. They do have some utility as well that Could be used. Rubino does manage to pick up one. Smoke goes down onto the bomb. Now they've got a kit. Rubino trying to bait things out, spray away from Zipix. And actually Rubino's just going to get onto that bomb, looking to try and hold the defusal. One will come in through the door, and the second from Zipix as well. Clutching things out, just about surviving. Then Astralis take themselves a 7th. It's a straight reset once again. And how does he do this? He's such a master in those clutch situations. Even a door can't stand in his way.
How on earth did he manage that, Tom? How did he manage that?
Oh, look
So
at it
close.
as well.
He's on 1 HP with milliseconds to spare. Astralis, they're on to a 7th heroic. You have got to feel broken by that. Magiska's opened up, Nico's gone down, Rubino and Modi going to try their hands at aggression, but already they've come to regret this decision. Damage done. Yugi's able to go to get the revenge onto Magisk. Rubino goes through. Dupree. Ooh, Modi's made it interesting, though. He has made it a 1 versus 2. It all falls to Snappy, and he might actually catch Glaive off guard. The timing just isn't there. Or is it? He's going to have a second chance, but once again, Glaive just eluding him. They're so close.
They're just going to walk around in a circle, aren't they?
It's like this map is perfectly designed to time up like this. Surely now he catches him. Surely Snappy can't get...
No.
Finally,
Oh,
there's Glaive. No, Snappy, please, it was such a build-up. Not the anti-climax like this. He does manage to get it. Now it's a one-on-one. It all falls to Dupree. He's going to go for the bomb plant on B. Snappy now has the AK to work with. Dupree's heading over to ramp. The bomb is down on B. The penny drops. And sort of Snappy down the vent. Heads in. The shoulder peek in the angle. Dupree now knows where he is. Go ahead and chuck a smoke onto the bomb, and it looks like he might just stick it. Dupree, does he expect a thing? No, he doesn't. It's a 10-second defuse. Surely Snappy doesn't get this. No, he does not. Dupree realizes, and that is going to be the 8th round for Astralis.
I like the balls on him to go for it, though. I suppose it's the less surprising of the two things to do, with no kit likely and that much time left on the bomb, but it almost works out. The problem is Astralis have now won the half on the T side, looking utterly dominant on nuke so far. There have been some close rounds, but ultimately they have just been running away with it. They've been really close rounds. The money at the moment for Astralis is not good. Like, the fact is, if there was some miracle reset here from Heroic, there really wouldn't be any money for Astralis to play with. The maximum money they have is 2,300. However, it's not going to matter because there's nothing to fight up against them at the moment. Device can farm up some cash. It is a complete A stack coming out from the CT side. No real information gathered, but the teams have been so good at just playing nice and slow. They're going to use Device as just this man to just farm up cash. No real risk as he doesn't have anything to lose, only the MAC-10, and it's a long-range battle which is taking far too long for my liking, but Dupree throws in some style at the end, nets himself the knife. 9-3 now in favor of Astralis, and while Snappy's going to call out a pause, the only question I have, though, is it too little too late? Like, this is a long way back. The problem being, though, is just the way the rounds have gone. It's been 1 round, then 3 back, 1 round, then 3 back. The tactics haven't come into it, really. It's just been, we've got no money, so we have to just go for some sort of force.
And the thing that's scary is Dupree's getting confident. You know, he wins it out in that one-on-one. Then he gets the knife kill there. Zipix, who's currently bottom of the board, clutched it out in an insane 1v2. You can't say that no one is playing, you know, not really stepping up right now for Astralis. Everyone's hitting their shots. Anything Heroic can do, Astralis are just essentially saying, you know, we can do better. It seems like any time there's a pick found for Heroic, maybe if someone from Astralis does get a bit overzealous, they always have someone there to pick things back up. Or, you know, something else is given away elsewhere on the map. And Astralis are very, very quick to exploit that. And I think the style that they've been playing is one that Heroic, due to the economic situation, haven't been able to actually put a stop to. These very slow rounds. By the time the pushes come in, Heroic have no utility left. And this looks to be the case once again. Because when you look at it, there's so little right now for Heroic to use. They have to use it so sparingly. Device going to miss that shot. Yugi is handed another opportunity towards outside. He actually is able to find one on the repeat. He's going to stick around a bit longer, as is Device. Rubino going to go ahead and get him. And now Glaive alone towards outside. Actually alone everywhere. A 1 versus 5 would be required. This would be one for the history books, let me tell you now. Scopes in with the AWP. They know that he's here. Snappy. He's going to be looping up through Secret. Nico's able to find it. Heroic get themselves a 4th round.
That's been the interesting thing about the rounds that the Heroic have actually been winning, though. Like, 2 of the 3 buy rounds they've won have been completely flawless. It's just then that Astralis seem to return to the map in such style and break them once again. Like, they've actually created a beautiful little pattern on the scoreboard of just 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1. Because they haven't strung anything together, and it's just worked wonderfully for Astralis. Obviously, they can't continue that pattern because it has to end in a 2 if they do end the last 2 rounds of the half, but I'm hoping for Heroic's sake that they can manage to steal the last 2 rounds. Give themselves a chance on the T side. Because for now, it is not looking good at all. Either way, T's once again going to be looking to try and fight outside. Yugi is once again here on the AWP. When he's had it, he's had impact, but still not quite the star performance we were hoping for. Already Glaive is going to be tagged down to just 25 HP, and Zipix in a similar scenario. Push will be coming in towards ramp. Modi spots them and is forced just to fade away. We'll go into the B side, and you can tell why that Molotov's gone down. They don't want Yugi having a chance. They know that he likes to back in. Already Snappy actually burns once again, and Device has found another one. Yugi gets overwhelmed, and they just get picked apart. It's the same again. They win one, and the return is mighty from Astralis, leaving Nico. Nice shots, gets himself 2. 30 seconds left on the clock. Actually looks to duck back down. However, the bomb is up above.
Yeah, 1 versus 3 will be needed. The ace as well. And as the bomb goes down, it's not looking too good for Nico. If he saves this, they can buy to the next round. They can look to scrape a buy together anyway, but at this point, the benefits of going for this do not outweigh the benefits of saving this AK. Zipex might try peeking into it. He's going to get tagged low. Does he actually keep the aggression going here? It looks like they're going to go triple peek into it. Nico goes down. Didn't really need to try and take the fights there. That felt a bit weird. Maybe seeing if he could find a player or two to do some damage, impede their ability to buy in the last of the half. But you do feel like saving the AK would have been the better thing to do.
Yeah, I think maybe a confidence booster at the same time, maybe hoping if he got a quick kill that he could then warrant a reason to go for the round. At this point, they're so far down that you can sort of understand maybe a little bit of frustration. But 10-4, Astralis on their opponent's map pick is going to be aggression towards this outside spot. They will get a quick trade. Now, they don't have too much in terms of weaponry here or utilities. That's why we're seeing so much aggression. Pop Flash comes over. Dupree has been spotted. The second comes out, though, and is perfect. It's actually going to be Rubino killing his teammate. That's how blind he was. And although Modi will get one, Nico's left in a similar situation. At least this time he's on the site. But that's the only benefit.
Yeah, 1 versus 3 once again would be needed from Nico. He's able to find Device. Now you can see Dupree starts to wrap around. Nico going to reposition. Looks to keep them guessing. He's broken the vents to try and fake that drop down. Oh, he doesn't make any sound getting off the boxes as well. That's pretty massive. Doesn't matter, though. Sound is one thing, but a bullet to the face is another, and that is a surefire way to put Nico down. 11-4, Astralis, a fantastic T-side from them. And we kept going on about how this is a very good map for Heroic and how, you know, we're expecting this to go all 3. Right now, it looks like it's an even better map for Astralis. They have torn them apart on the T side.
Yeah, they now go on to the favored side of the map with basically just looking for that pistol. They get the pistol, they set themselves up, and Heroic have to grind back in probably the most unreal fashion we've ever seen. It's going to have to be an utterly stellar T side from Heroic, but they need to start with that pistol. They desperately need to start with the pistol. Either way, straight Kevlar coming out, and it is just going to be this run onto the A site. Leading the charge will be Snappy, and out, as his name suggests, Magic's had already picked up 3 devices there, and this is bleak to say the least. Rubino, the new man on the block, doesn't even have armor or a head. 12-4. Astralis take themselves the pistol, and they're looking to finish this in a quick fashion.
Yeah, Heroic now, with their backs against the wall, have to go for a force here. It's going to be Deagles, the CZ on Modi. This looks like it's going to be a play for outside with this many Deagles, but they might just try rushing into A. This push seems a little bit disjointed. Maybe the heads of Heroic are hung low right now. Oh, Rubino could have fall to Glaive. They know that he's here at least. Now they can look to try and go for the trade. Oh. You hate to see this. He's onto a second. 1 HP. Back against the wall. They've got him into a corner. How's Glaive still alive? Device has come in to help now.
He could have killed himself.
And he's just toying with them. Dupree's going to get rid of one more. It all falls to Nico. Glaive just going to make his disappearance. Dupree's there. 2 players now, 1 HP.
They both survive. That's not something you see every day. 13-4. They're going to want to at least get one buy-in on their T side. So I imagine we'll see the save come in from Heroic. You wouldn't even blame them if they did just try and force things here and wanted to at least get themselves a little bit early on. Rubino will buy a couple of flashbangs, so maybe praying to get a bomb plant just by running into the blender, which is those MP9s. And, of course, the Scout, which at the moment will give them that one-shot ability. Either way, Heroic clutching at straws. The Molotov is going to burn them down. Dupree using that shredder. And he wants more. He's going hunting, already finding 4. There's only 1 man remaining. Magis will steal away the ace. And now it is crunch time. This is it for Heroic. 10 rounds behind. They need to win, well, 12 if they're going to take this map without it going to regulation. I can't say I'm a believer. Astralis have looked like a force to be reckoned with. The CT side, well, Heroic never really got themselves going. The economy always against them. And this is their last chance.
Yeah, this is it. This is where Heroic have to make their stand. They have to show that they can go toe-to-toe with the best Denmark has to offer. Yugi's initially going to be outside. Astralis set up so they've got Glaive and Device towards the outside position. Device holding it from CT. Rubino goes peeking into this. Device is going to get spotted, but second time around, Device able to find it. Glaive going to go ahead and drop Nico. That was the bomb as well. It does fall deep in enemy lines. Glaive going to call that in, and now it becomes a rescue mission. Yugi and Modi, 2 versus 5 is going to be required for them to win this out. The bomb's down. Device, I didn't even know he found that kill, and now Glaive going to finish off Modi. Astralis, 15-4 on the map pick of Heroic. 11 of those rounds coming from the T side. The second you see that happening, you know, your heart kind of sinks. Heroic know it. We know it. It's not looking good for them, and Astralis, they're feeling fire right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that going forward into this tournament, I don't think anybody's going to go near nuke versus Astralis. No, I certainly wouldn't. I know that most teams don't like playing it anyway, but yeah, I would not like to face off against this. Yes, the economy has helped them quite a bit, just with the ability to reset Heroic every single time, but it takes a lot of skill to be able to do that. And while the T side, this is their last ditch effort. This is do or die. They'll be going into that 2-2 matchup, which is going to be so tough. They could get, there's so many unlucky draws that they could have. Now let's see if they can keep themselves some hope of getting into the playoffs 3-1.
So on the back of this round, it's a fast play into a Dupree. Is in with the first and a second. It's a bit of a spray down. He finally gets stopped. But his reign of tyranny is not done yet. It lives on through Device. 3 massive frags. 2 at the end in with the Deeg. And Astralis, they managed to win the series 2-0. Surprisingly, Overpass being the closer of the 2 maps. On Nuke, Astralis came alive. And as for Heroic, while the Dream are making the playoffs just yet, not dead, but they have been impeded. They're going to drop down into the 2-2 bracket, and they're going to have to face off against some equally as terrifying teams. But Astralis, it's safe to say, they did look better, Tom. They look to be in good form, and the second that we see them come out with 11 rounds on T-side of Nuke, you kind of knew that for Heroic, that glimmer of hope that they once had on their map had been extinguished.
Yeah, no, it really was a masterclass T-side, and every single time that Heroic sort of saved the money to get themselves back into the game, it was just decimation straight back. You'd see, like, multiple times Heroic had 5 players surviving. You think, okay, now they're going to build into their CT side, and then Astralis would do almost similar straight back. Then you get down to clutch situations. You had Zipix with the 1v2 spraying players through the gap in the door. You had a 1v1 coming out from Dupree as well, which with a 10-second defuse attempted. Everything just seemed to go their way, and it really was a stellar performance. As said, I don't think there's going to be many teams watching that and thinking, you know what, I want to play them on Nuke now, because it's, as said, it's not a map that many want to play, and that was just incredible. So, yeah, Astralis, they've earned their spot. They are going through to the playoff stage, so they get, I think they get a day off, or a couple of days off even, now to just chill in Kiev. They can go through the demos. I don't think they're going to be watching too much about Nuke after that. I think they'll probably just go, yeah, I think that one's all right. Let's move on to some of the others. And, well, again, it's kind of difficult to say. Either way, looking like we are going to be heading over to Parlor, and he's going to be joined by Dupree. Oh, we've got overvoiced this.
There you go, right. How good's your lip reading, Tom?
Not that
so
good.
I imagine Dupree's given some really in-depth art, and then Parler's like, yeah, and now I noticed over on... I can't do his voice. I can't. He's really
Where's
happy.
Thorin? We need
we need Duncan in here. He's basically asking some quite... Oh,
Did anything go out on stream?
There we go. Welcome back.
What's going on, guys? I'm here with Peter, also known as Dup from Astralis. You're now through into the top 8 of the tournament. How are you feeling?
I am satisfied. Obviously, it's great to be here. It's the first LAN event together with Magis Boy, so yeah, going into the top 8 was definitely one of the part goals. And yeah, I like the format very much, so of course I'm really satisfied.
So just to repeat the conversation we had, was it sweet or bittersweet to go into the top 8 by beating like one of your brother teams, Heroic?
Of course it was sweet. Like, we're the big brother in the family. No one can really doubt that. Yeah, I mean, like, they beat us 2-0 online a couple of days ago, and now we beat them 2-0 on LAN, so that was really satisfying at least.
I feel like I'm having deja vu. All right, so tell us a bit about the Magis situation from your perspective. Is it... Well, I mean, it seems, of course, from an outside perspective, like it's working. You've made it to the top 8, but give me your opinion on how he's fitting in.
Really, really great. Like, the most important thing is definitely that the roles are fitting now. I got back to my old role in terms of entry fragging, and he's doing what I used to do. So everyone is really satisfied right now, and everyone is playing the role they want to. So I mean, so far so good. I mean, we're still making a lot of stupid mistakes, and we made a lot of mistakes on overpass, at least in the game today. So yeah, from now on, it's just keep improving and keep looking at our mistakes and just take one game at a time.
And so when Nuke ended up coming up for the second map, it was their pick. Did you expect to have such a strong T-half, or was that slightly surprising?
We were really prepared. We knew exactly what to do against them. Lucas, our Glaive, did a really great job in terms of anti-stratting and knowing what to do against them. And, we just played them on Nuke Online as well, so they kind of used their entire playbook against us there, so we kind of knew what to expect also when we played CT. That's why we were 4 guys inside on the bomb side, and we screamed at them, like, don't do the same gun on twice. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's all banter, like, that's just how it is, and especially if you play against some of your good friends, so it's a fun thing.
All right, well, any closing thoughts on making it into the Final 8 and potentially any other people you think you might see or meet there?
I mean, right now, I'm just really happy to be in the playoffs. I mean, we can get really good teams. There's only good teams here, definitely. Making it out of group stage was really satisfying. And now going to playoffs, I mean, obviously, if I can, I don't think I want to avoid anyone. I just want to play everyone. I mean, there's not a team that I fear that we don't think we can beat. So I just want to play and have a good time.
And do you feel at this point your chances are strong at potentially taking the entire title?
Well, I always want to believe in a title win, so of course. But obviously, we also have to be realistic that we've only had a couple of days and maybe like 2 weeks practice with Magic Boy up to this event, and that we're still making mistakes. And we'll see how far it goes in playoffs. But I'm really confident in the way we're playing. We've definitely stepped up the last 2 days, so I'm confident as of right now.
Okay, well, Peter, thanks so much. Any final words?
Well, just a big shout out to everyone watching, and I guess I will see you. I don't even know when we're playing next, but whenever we play.
I think you have a break for a couple days.
Yeah, I think we're like 2 days off.
Yes.
So tune in whenever the game is and keep Counter-Strike alive.
I like that, Peter. Congratulations once again, Astralis, our 4th team going through into the top 8. Let's head back to our casters.
You gotta love Dupree. You just gotta love Dupree. I think it was like he pretty much said it very, very well. I think it definitely looked like they had the strategy.
Well twice, actually.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he said the first time. Might have said something completely different, but I think it definitely seemed like they had the number of Heroic in that matchup. And when you look at the sort of like the online match they had and the one that was there, like they basically just said it. It was like we anti-stratted them. Their outer control was excellent. They seemed to counter any aggression that Yugi would go for. Even if he get a kill, it would be a very quick trade. Like they knew he would re-peak any spots that it seems. Well, this is a prime example. It's like he gets a kill, instantly Device is just waiting. He knows he's going to re-peak another angle, and it just seemed like they were very, very well prepared. And yeah, I think they are going to be a scary team going forward. I also love the fact that he was speaking about the idea of Magis, because it definitely seemed that Dupree, at least in that entry fragger role, especially on Overpass, looked like he was just feeling it, just like running in. They seemed very, very happy while they were playing. And it is almost what I said sort of towards the beginning of the match when we were doing like the opening segment, just saying, I think that both teams or both Danish teams with the swaps could actually come out better just because they now seem like a more, well, tight-knit regiment.
Oh, I have to agree. And it seems like it's freed up Dupree a hell of a lot to play, I don't know, like a more aggressive style over on the T side. And then I think Magic has been doing well as he kind of to me he reminds me of how similar to how Fur would play, in the sense just like Magic is always in like these crazy positions. You don't expect him to be there, and he just sort of emerges and gets stuff done. And I think it is going to come down to it where it will rejuvenate both of the squads. I think they are both going to benefit from this. I always thought Magic, it seemed weird to me when North first dropped him from the squad. I'll be honest, because I thought he was one of the best players on the team. So now that he's back in Astralis, I mean, I do love to see it. Of course, he's up here on the best players. Device having a great performance on this map. He went 24 and 10, which is just utterly fantastic.
Especially
a good
considering how
well
small rounds. There were barely any rounds for them to actually play, and it definitely, well, the fact there that it's like Zipix is down the bottom. He only died 7 times. Like they just didn't have that much to do.
And I mean, even if you didn't have the most kills, everyone had around where they did something very, very crucial.
1v2 through the door.
Exactly, Zipix with that now iconic 1v2 through the door.
More difficult to say than you thought.
Much more, Tom. It's been a long day. We're an hour, probably. I don't know. I don't know what hour we're in now.
I think this may have sped things up a little bit with our
Oh yeah, I did. We're done nice and early, Tom, and that's courtesy of Astralis, my new favorite team.
Wow, what about the boys?
No, I'm just kidding.
He's fallen off of them
It's
already.
always the boys.
Well, you'll get to see a little bit more of them, of course, tomorrow. And a bit more from Heroic, who have actually fallen now into that 2-for-2 bracket. And I'm guessing we're going to find out on the mainstream a little bit later on who will be playing off against each other. It's going to be tough. Like, there's so many good teams down there. We've got your boys. We've got either Na'Vi or SK, Cloud9 still in the mix as well. So definitely some scary matchups and some great games coming your way tomorrow. But as for this stream, at least, I think that's all we got time for. So either way, thank you very much for watching. Switch over to the mainstream if you haven't already, in which case I don't know who I'm talking to. And either way, we'll be back tomorrow with some more Counter-Strike.
Nailed it.
LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.